There has been an explosion of new AI tools on the market in the last year, and it's given non-technical, non-software people the ability to build apps and workflows like never before. If you've played with Claude Code or even Cursor or Replit, you may have recently built something useful for your business. And it actually works. So you think, why am I paying for software? Why don't we just build this ourselves? It is a fair question, but there's a risk here. The way that companies use and deploy AI is not the same as how individuals use AI. The best leaders in construction today understand the difference between a vibe-coded tool that works for one person and the enterprise AI that runs the work of an entire business. That distinction is one of the most important calls a construction leader will make in the next 2 years. Here is what is true. AI is good enough now that one person at a desk can build something that works. You can write a script. You can spin up a small app. You can ask an agent to do a task and watch it happen. People are calling this vibe coding, and it is real. The era of needing a development team to build a useful tool is, for the individual, over. So, if you are running a construction business, whether you're doing 50 or $500 million in revenue, and someone in your business vibe codes a tool over the weekend, your first thought is logical. Hey, we could just do this ourselves. That is the trap. An individual builds something that works once for one person on one task in one good moment. But a business needs something that works every time, for everyone, on every task, on real money. Those are different products with different problem sets. The instant you try to scale a vibe-coded tool to an organization, the easy part is behind you. The chat, the prompt, the script. That is the smallest piece of what a business actually needs. The hard part, the part you only see once you try to launch it, is everything underneath. So let's talk through 7 things that companies need to keep in mind if they want to deploy their own vibe-coded apps in their businesses. First, data modeling. This is the part you do not see, but every action your AI takes depends on it. The AI needs to know what your business actually looks like, not as words, but as structure. For example, you might have a job that lives in different systems as different records. Accounting knows its budget, costs, and billings. Your project management tool knows its documents, schedule, and submittals. Your field app knows the crews, hours, and daily logs. Same job, different facts in each place. But no one system knows the whole thing. A data model is what tells the AI that these are all one job, and which system holds which piece of the truth. Now multiply that by every entity in your business: vendors, cost codes, purchase orders, invoices, change orders, line items. Without a data model, the AI can read an invoice but doesn't know what the invoice is for or what to do with it. With a data model, the AI can match the invoice to the right purchase order, verify the amount, code it to the right cost code, route it for approval, and book it in accounting. That is the difference between a tool for one person and a tool for cross-departmental, cross-functional teams. Second, it needs integration. Your accounting software has an API, but the custom fields you added 2 years ago do not. Half of the data you need isn't even in a system. It actually lives in email threads, spreadsheets, and PDFs. A vibe-coded tool can call one clean API or handle a few large PDFs, but an enterprise-grade AI has to orchestrate across multiple APIs and processes thousands of PDFs. This is a much more complex task than a simple integration. Third, security and permissions. This is the architecture that decides what your AI can do, for whom, and what record it leaves behind. For every action the AI takes, every approval that gets routed, every invoice coded, every record updated, has to leave a trail. Who initiated an action? What action was taken, and when? At some point, you will need to answer for it to an auditor, to a customer, or to yourself. A vibe-coded tool runs as one super user. It sees everything. It logs nothing. A business AI has to know who is asking, what they are allowed to know, and how to remember exactly what it did 6 months from now. Fourth, reliability. A vibe-coded tool that works 80% of the time is fine on a side project. On real money, 80% is malpractice. Monitoring the uptime of an enterprise application is a full-time job. And if something goes down, you often have minutes to react and fix it. Reliability for an enterprise AI is not just about being accurate when it answers, it is about knowing when not to answer, flagging what it cannot determine instead of confidently guessing, leaving a clear trail when it is unsure, and recovering cleanly with a record of what happened when something does go wrong. None of that is a feature you turn on. It is a foundation the AI has to be built on from the start. Fifth, governance. When the AI does the wrong thing, who is responsible? How do you trace it? And most importantly, how do you fix it? Misclassify one cost code and the error propagates into job costs, the WIP, the billing, the P&L. Approve one wrong invoice and cash is out the door for something you did not get. Make those mistakes across 10,000 transactions a month, and you have built a faster way to lose money. Sixth, how do you onboard your team? This is the part everyone underestimates, and the part that decides whether the AI becomes a tool people actually use or expensive software that nobody touches. A vibe-coded tool has one user. A business AI has dozens or hundreds of users across every role: the controller, the PM, the AP clerk, the field worker. Each one has a different workflow, a different relationship to the work, and a different reason to trust or distrust the system. This is where having done it before changes everything. The right partner brings a methodology, a sequence, and a playbook for every role, built from doing this with hundreds of contractors before yours. The AI already speaks the language of the work, so your team is not also teaching it from scratch. And the change does not land on one person inside your company to figure out alone. Finally, one of the most important aspects is domain knowledge. The AI needs to know what construction actually is. How does work get awarded? What does a good project look like? It needs to understand this not just for your company, but across every company of your type. Generic AI knows the internet. It does not know construction, and it certainly does not know your business. So at Brick, we built Otto to orchestrate all of this work for you. You can think of Otto as a really smart construction AI brain, trained on terabytes of knowledge files, written by people who have spent decades in this industry, to teach Otto how a real construction business actually works in practice, not just in theory. Plus, we handle all of the hidden challenges of building, deploying, and managing AI in your business. So when you sit down with ChatGPT and watch it do something useful, the feeling is real, trust it, but remember what you are looking at, and what you are looking at is a tool. A tool is what an individual buys when they buy AI. A business buys an operating layer. Anyone can build a thing that works once. Building one that works every time for everyone on real money with all of the work underneath it is a different art. That is why companies rely on Brick.